Have you ever looked at your life and thought, this isn't where I thought I'd be by now? Maybe you've done everything right. You've shown up for others, you've followed the rules, you've done your best. And yet, deep down, something still feels off. You go through the motions, but inside there's this quiet ache, a longing for something more meaning, more fulfillment, more clarity about why you're here. If you've ever whispered, "What is my purpose?" or thought, "I know I'm meant for something more, but I don't know what," you're in the right place. Comment below and simply say, "I'm ready to discover my purpose." Because what you're feeling, it's not a crisis, it's a calling. And Archangel Gabriel is ready to help you remember what your soul has always known. Why you feel disconnected from your purpose. Let's get honest for a moment. You probably didn't expect to feel this way. You thought by this point in life, you'd have more direction, more certainty, more passion. But instead, you find yourself stuck in routines that feel more like survival than joy. You wake up tired, you check off to-do lists, you take care of others, and you keep showing up, but your soul feels like it's on pause. You try to be grateful because you know you're blessed in many ways. But at the same time, you wonder, why does life feel flat? Why don't I feel excited anymore? What am I even here for? You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're definitely not behind. You're just disconnected from your divine design, and you're not alone. Many people hit this point in their journey, especially those who are naturally giving, intuitive, and spiritually aware. They've spent so much time pouring into others that they forget to ask, what lights me up? What was I created to do? And that disconnection becomes a weight, not always heavy, but always there, a dull ache. A quiet, not quite right that follows you into every decision. But here's the truth, that ache isn't a problem, it's a signal, a divine invitation to realign with the path your soul chose before you even arrived here. Purpose isn't lost, it's buried, and how it happens. Think of your purpose like a seed planted deep within your soul. It was placed there long before your first breath, a divine assignment. Something only you could do, something that doesn't just bring you joy. It brings healing to others too, but over time that seed can get buried. Life happens. You take the job that pays the bills. You support the people who need you. You follow the rules. You do the responsible thing. And little by little, that seed of purpose gets covered by expectations, fear of failure, guilt for wanting more, the pressure to be realistic, messages that say that dream isn't practical. And one day you wake up and think, I don't even know who I am anymore. Not because your purpose disappeared, but because it got buried under everything life put on top of it. But here's the beautiful part. Seeds are designed to grow in the dark. And right now, something is stirring inside you. That ache, that restlessness, that voice that says there has to be more. That's the seed of your purpose trying to rise again. And Archangel Gabriel is here to help you uncover it. How Archangel Gabriel awakens your divine calling. Archangel Gabriel is known as the messenger of God, but more than that, he is the angel of divine purpose, clarity, and communication. If your purpose feels unclear, if your voice feels lost, if your path feels dim, Gabriel doesn't just offer answers. He helps you remember what you already know deep in your soul. His presence often feels like a clear, gentle truth rising in your heart, a sudden click of understanding, a word, image, or phrase that won't leave you alone, a sense of peace when you finally speak what's been buried inside you, the inner nudge to finally write, teach, lead, create, serve, or shift your path. Gabriel doesn't push, he reveals. He peels back the noise, the doubt, the confusion, and whispers the truth you were born with. Real story, a moment of Gabriel's guidance. One woman shared this with us. I had been feeling lost for years. I had a good job, but it drained me. One day, while praying, I asked, Gabriel, if there's something I'm meant to do, please show me. A few days later, I kept seeing the word voice everywhere. Books, ads, conversations. It wouldn't leave me. I remembered that years ago I loved singing and mentoring others, but I gave it up. That's when I knew. I wasn't being called to a new purpose. I was being called back to the one I abandoned. That's what Gabriel does. He doesn't give you something new. He brings you back to who you've always been. And right now, he may be whispering the same to you. Signs Gabriel is revealing your true calling. One of the most beautiful things about Archangel Gabriel is how gently he communicates. He doesn't force or demand, he invites. And that invitation often shows up as subtle signs woven into your everyday life. The challenge? Most people miss these signs because they're either overthinking them or expecting something bigger, louder, more dramatic. But divine communication isn't always grand. Sometimes it's a soft breadcrumb trail, a feeling, a thought, a whisper that keeps showing up again and again. If you've been asking, what is my purpose? What am I really meant to do? These may be Gabriel's way of answering. Here are 4 sacred signs Gabriel may already be revealing your next step, your calling, or the deeper alignment your soul is ready for. 1. You feel called to change, even if you don't know what's next. It starts as restlessness, a slow, growing feeling that something is shifting, that who you've been no longer fits who you're becoming. You might feel like you're standing in a doorway, not quite out of the old, but not yet fully in the new. And while you may not have a clear vision of what's next, you feel it. This chapter is ending. Maybe you've tried to ignore it. You tell yourself to be grateful or not rock the boat, but the feeling keeps returning, stronger each time. This is often Gabriel's way of saying, you're being prepared for something greater. It's not a breakdown, it's a spiritual transition, and Gabriel is gently guiding you toward it. 2. You keep revisiting a long-lost passion. Do you find yourself thinking about something you used to love? Something that used to light you up before life got in the way? Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's teaching. Maybe it's healing, singing, painting, mentoring, serving, creating, or simply being in nature. It could be something you loved as a child, before anyone told you it wasn't practical. Suddenly, that passion has started coming up again. You see others doing it. You randomly find books or articles on it. You have dreams or daydreams about it. You feel a tug every time you think about returning to it. This isn't just nostalgia. It's a spiritual breadcrumb. Gabriel often brings your true calling back to your awareness through the passions you once abandoned, but never truly forgot. 3. You feel uncomfortable in familiar places. Here's one of the most uncomfortable signs that something is shifting spiritually. The things that used to feel fine suddenly don't. A job that once felt secure now feels like a cage. A friendship that used to energize you now leaves you drained. A lifestyle or habit that once gave comfort now brings emptiness. You may not even understand why it feels off, you just know it does. This isn't you being ungrateful or dramatic. It's divine redirection. When your soul is being called to more, Gabriel will start showing you where you've been shrinking. Not to punish you, but to help you realize you've outgrown this, and the discomfort isn't random. It's the beginning of realignment. 4. You're drawn to spiritual tools or messages like this one. Maybe you've been seeing the name Gabriel more often, or feeling pulled to angel numbers, or suddenly more curious about your spiritual gifts and soul mission. You might find yourself watching videos like this, reading posts about divine purpose, or journaling about what you're really here to do. And you might be thinking, why am I suddenly so into this? Why now? Because Gabriel has stepped in. Angelic guidance always begins with gentle preparation. You'll be guided to the people, tools, and words that awaken something inside you. What you thought was coincidence is actually confirmation. If you're here right now, reading this, you're already responding to Gabriel's nudge. That's not just spiritual curiosity, that's purpose calling. You're closer to your calling than you think. Right now, you might feel far from clarity. You might be thinking, I missed my window, I'm too late, I'm too lost to figure this out. But what if none of that is true? What if you're closer to your calling than you realize? Because divine clarity doesn't always come in a lightning bolt. It often arrives as a series of quiet yeses. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a forest with fog all around. You can't see the destination, but you can see just far enough to take one step forward, so you do. And as you move forward, more of the path is revealed. Step by step, it becomes clearer. That's how spiritual purpose often works. You rarely get the full roadmap, but you do get nudges, little soul whispers, moments of knowing, inklings that make no logical sense, but feel right. Here's what those little yeses might look like. Saying yes to journaling again, just to hear your own thoughts and let your truth rise. Saying yes to releasing a draining habit or role, even if it feels scary. Saying yes to exploring that idea that keeps nudging you, even if you're not sure where it leads. Saying yes to learning more about your soul gifts, intuitive abilities, or spiritual alignment. Saying yes to moments like this, where you listen to guidance instead of brushing it aside. Every time you say yes to alignment, you get closer to clarity, and every yes builds trust in yourself, in the divine, in the path that's unfolding, even if you can't fully see it yet. You don't need to have it all figured out today. You only need to trust the next step, because when you do, you won't just be chasing purpose, you'll be living it. And the beauty? That next step is already waiting for you. The next step toward purpose. Celestial purpose and destiny. By now, you've probably realized something important. You don't need to force your way into your purpose. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to have all the answers before you begin. You just need to realign. And when it comes to realignment, you don't have to do it alone. If your spirit has been whispering, "I'm ready to find my direction again. I want to feel passionate about my life. I need help remembering why I'm here," then this next step was created for you. Celestial Purpose and Destiny is a gentle, divinely guided journey designed to help you rediscover the truth of who you are, realign with the path your soul chose before you were born, receive angelic support from Archangel Gabriel, the angel of purpose and sacred communication, reignite the fire inside you that's been quietly waiting to come alive again. This is not a program that tells you what to do. It's a spiritual mirror that helps you remember what you've always known. What's inside? Gabriel-led meditations and messages to activate clarity, purpose journaling prompts to access your own divine wisdom, energy clearing tools to release confusion and hesitation, practical exercises to help you embody your calling in daily life, spiritual guidance rituals to tune into signs, nudges, and divine direction. You'll walk away with a deeper connection to your soul's mission, confidence in your next steps, a peaceful knowing that you are supported by something greater, a purpose that feels aligned, alive, and entirely yours. This is your chance to stop spinning in doubt and finally walk forward in faith. Click the link in the description to receive Celestial Purpose and Destiny now. Let Gabriel illuminate your path. Let your calling rise from within. Let yourself come home to the version of you who no longer settles for almost, and instead begins to live fully with sacred alignment. If this message touched something in your heart today, drop a comment below and say, "I'm ready to walk in my purpose." Even if you don't know what that looks like yet, your willingness to speak it creates momentum. The universe listens, the angels respond, and Archangel Gabriel begins clearing the way. Know this, dear one, you are not lost, you are not behind, and you have not missed your calling. You are simply in a moment of divine remembering. Right now, something ancient and sacred inside of you is waking up, not because you're broken, but because you're ready, and that next chapter you're yearning for? It doesn't begin with a big leap, it begins with a quiet yes. So say yes to clarity, to purpose, to Gabriel's guidance, to your own divine path. Click the link and step into Celestial Purpose and Destiny now, because your life wasn't meant to be fine. It was meant to be fulfilling. And your purpose, it's not ahead of you, it's within you, waiting to be lived.